Hey everyone, it's John here, and in today's video we're going to take a look at functions that don't spill and see how we can get them to spill. So in this video I've identified 5 reasons why a function might not spill, and we're going to see how we can fix this so that they do. Let's take a look. First up, let's take a look at the spill error. So this is going to be the most likely reason why your formula doesn't spill. And so this is going to be caused by non-empty cells in a spill area. So let's, for example, create a sequence function here. And let's do a 10 by 8 sequence. And in this case, we're going to get a spill error. So when we select our formula cell, we get the blue dash around the area that our formula wants to spill into. And we can immediately see that we've got items in the way. Now, if we delete those, in this case, we still get our spill error. And that's because we've got some invisible items in here. So we've got some empty strings. And so we can't see them, but they do still count as being non-empty. Now, what we can do is when we select our spill error, we get this little pop-up here. And if we click on that, then we have this option here to select obstructing cells. And that's going to help us find our non-empty cells. And then we can press delete. And now our formula is going to spill. Next up, let's take a look at the analysis toolpack functions. So the analysis toolpack was an add-in for statistical analysis, and it came with various new functions as well. Now, eventually, all of these functions were added into Excel natively, so you don't need the add-in to use them. But in order to spill these functions, you're going to need to use an array of values and not a range of values. So this is a very subtle difference. So a range contains the values and other properties such as formatting, whereas an array just contains the values. So if we try to spill most Excel functions, for example, the month function, then those are going to spill okay. And so in this case, our month function is referencing this range of values here. But if we try to use this end of month function, so this is actually an analysis toolpack function, and let's give it this set of dates here and just get the end of month for our current month, then we're going to get this value error, so it's not going to spill. And that's because of this range of values. Now, if we convert this into an array of values, so we can easily do that to any range by performing some calculation on it. And so 1 times this range is just going to give me only the values, so an array. And now because we're using an array of values instead of a range, then our end of month function is going to spill those results. And this is going to be the case for any of our analysis toolpack functions. Next up, let's take a look at aggregating functions. So by design, these are meant not to spill. So they're designed to take a range of values and then return a single value from those. So for example, the sum function is just going to sum up all the numbers that we give it and return a single value here. Now, if we want to sum each of these rows and spill the results from a single formula, we can't do that with the sum function. We actually need to use a helper function. So we have this by row function, and that allows us to perform a custom calculation for each row of a range. So we just need to give it our full range of values that we want to sum each row in. And then we need to use a lambda function to create our custom calculation. And this lambda requires a single parameter representing our rows. So here I'm going to name this parameter row. And then we can define our calculation as the sum of our row. And let's close our lambda and our by row function. And when we press enter, we get a spilled results of our sum for each row. Now this by row function allows us to write this in a bit of a shorthand format. So instead of this lambda, we can just reference the sum function. And that's going to give us the same results. So this is how we can get any aggregating function to spill. And this includes Boolean functions. So for example, if we want to calculate which of these employees have had all of these checks done, then using the AND function is going to aggregate all those as well, just like our sum function. But we can use by row again to calculate that for each row in our range. And here are the list of available functions. You're not going to see the AND function, but it's also going to work. And here now we get a calculation of the AND function for each row. So here all of our checks have been done, and so we have a true value, whereas here one of our checks has not been done, and we've got a false value. Now this is going to work if we want to spill down the rows, but if we want to spill across the columns, we've got a similar function. So by call is going to do the exact same thing, but across the columns. The next situation we're going to take a look at for your formula not spilling is when you have an array of arrays. So for example, here we have this address in a single cell, and we have a function called text split. And it's going to allow us to split this out based on the comma into different cells. So here now our address has the street and city and state in different cells. And so this spills across the columns, but what if we want this to also spill down the rows? So you might try referencing here instead of this single cell. You might try referencing the entire column. And now it spills down the rows, but it doesn't spill across the columns anymore. So in this case, we have an array of arrays. So we have our first array is across the columns, and our parent array is going down the rows. And Excel can't handle that situation of arrays. So in this case, we just get the first item, our street value, and we don't get any of the city or state values. So in this case, what we need to do is use the reduce function to loop through our list here and then perform the text split calculation for each of these values. So reduce takes an initial value, and here we're just going to supply it with an empty string. And then it takes the array of values that we want to loop through. So that's our addresses here. And then it takes a custom calculation. So this needs to be a lambda. And the lambda needs two parameters, an accumulator and a current value parameter. So the accumulator is essentially the previously calculated value, and that's going to be our text split here. And the current value v is going to be each of these address values here as we loop through our array. Now inside our lambda, we're not going to be referencing an individual cell here. We're going to reference our current value of the addresses that we're looping through. So we're going to perform our text split on the current value. And let's close our lambda and reduce function. And now reduce only returns the last calculation. So here you can see that that is our last address here that's being split out. So what we need to do is use this accumulator value and stack that on top of each of the calculations. So we're going to use vstack for that. So we're going to stack our accumulator value with our current calculation for our text split. And when we press enter, we get all of our results. Now we also have this first row here. So that's because of our initial value. And that's why the reduce function requires an initial value. So that's because in our first iteration, our accumulator isn't going to have a value. And so we're going to use that empty string inside our vstack here. And we don't want that first row, so we're just going to drop it with the drop function. And that allows us to drop the first row. And now we've got our spilled values, so we have them spilling across the columns. and down the rows for a single dynamic array. Now here, let's add this extra address into our table here. And so it's got an extra part of the address. It's got the country at the end here. And you can see that that now increases the size of our spill area. So we get this extra column here with that country. And all our previous values here, we get an NA error because that doesn't exist in the previous calculated text splits. And we can just take care of that with an if error. So if we have an error, let's just return an empty string. And now we've got blank values there. So in array of array situations, we need the reduce function in order to loop through and calculate our spilled values for each item and then stack the results in order to get one spilled range. And lastly, we're going to take a look at non-scalar lifting calculations. So we previously saw that the month function automatically spills for us. And this is because when dynamic arrays were introduced, they implemented them so that the grid would automatically lift scalar calculations and spill them. So this is why when you take a range of values and perform a scalar calculation, like adding 1, then that result is going to spill. So they smartly integrated this into the grid. Now, if they had not done this, we would need to use the map function to take our array of numbers and then perform a custom calculation for each cell. So here we would need to create a lambda that takes each value in the cell, and here we'll just call that x, and then adds 1 to that. And so in a more complex way, we get the same result here with the map function. And that's why the map function is mostly useless, because the grid is going to perform that calculation for us. Now, there are certain functions that I found that don't do this. So for example, the cell function, if we want to return the address from the cell, and if we pass it a range of values instead of a single cell, then it's not going to spill for us. So in this case, we would need to use the map function for it to spill. And here we're going to calculate this address for each of our cells. And so now, with the help of the map function, we're able to get our cell function to spill our address for us. So similarly here, we have the indirect function. And if we pass it a range of addresses here, then it spills, but we get this value error. So let's try using the map function to get this to spill correctly. So we're going to perform our calculation on our range of values here. And the calculation we're going to perform on each cell is going to be our indirect function calculation. And so we're going to do that for each of our cells. And when we press enter, we now get our correct spilled results. So if Excel doesn't automatically perform this scalar lifting calculations for us behind the scenes with any of our calculations, then we can use the map function to perform this calculation for each cell in any range. And then map is going to spill the results for us. That's it for this video. If you enjoyed the video, make sure you hit the thumbs up button and subscribe for future Excel videos like this one, and we'll see you in the next video.